Hello, and welcome back to another gardening video. Now this video, I'm going to go through all of the problems, the successes, my favourite moments from growing with the OGarden Smart in the last 4 years. Now, I have come up against quite a few problems, but I've managed to find solutions to all of them, which I'll share in this video. Now if you've never heard of an OGarden Smart, it's basically an indoor garden with a huge rotating wheel that's constantly turning. And now you fit about 60 plants in this wheel. They're in these little round earth pods that give the plants all their nutrients. Now there's a big cylindrical light in the middle, and this mimics the sun and provides all of the plants with all of the light they need. And as the wheel is turning, every so often the machine will water, and this water pools in a tray just beneath the wheel, and the plants in their earth pods, as they go around, pick up this water. And then finally there's a seedling tray underneath the wheel where you can start about 30 plants in little pods, seedlings, and then after about 20 or 30 days you can move them up into the wheel when they're big enough. Now if you'd like a bit more of a detailed explanation of the OGarden, then you can go and watch my first video, an introduction to my OGarden Smart. So I hope this video is helpful for anyone thinking about whether they want to get an OGarden, and also people thinking about, is the OGarden good enough to last a long period of time? So let's start with my usage of the OGarden. Now I've grown about 22 different vegetables, herbs and flowers in the OGarden over the last 4 years. One really good thing about the OGarden Smart is that you can grow food in it all year round, which means you're not limited by seasons or the weather, and you're limited by very few things. Some things I'll get to later. But this means that you can grow things like chili peppers and tomatoes and strawberries inside all year round for consumption whenever you want. And the mini strawberries have been one of my favourite successes with the OGarden. I've grown them for many months, and they're much smaller than regular strawberries, but they're alpine strawberries, and each one is like a little burst of lovely flavour that you just can't be beaten. And they grow really well in the OGarden. You can get countless little strawberries just from one plant. I've also done this with chili peppers, and I got some really nice, perfectly red, fiery chili peppers. I did have a little bit of them. They were burning hot, so that was a really cool experiment. One of my most daring experiments was to see if root crops could grow in the OGarden, because one big limiting factor of the OGarden is that the soil pods are only about this tall when they're fully expanded. So that means that there isn't actually that much root space for things like carrots or spring onions. So I thought, why not get some mini carrots, and I just got some regular spring onions. And so I sowed all of those seeds, they germinated fine, and then I transferred them. And after a month or so, I looked in the wheel, and I could see these roots kind of poking out the top, developing. And so I took them out, peeled away the earth. There were some really perfect orange carrots and some really tall spring onions. That was a great success and shows how you can grow such a wide range of plants in a machine such as this. You can grow leafy greens, you can grow root crops, and that's why I just love it so much, to be honest. For the first while I had the OGarden, I mainly just grew leafy greens and herbs, but then I decided to try and grow some unusual varieties. For example, I grew green basil from the beginning, but then I also decided to look into purple basil, because this is a really aesthetically pleasing basil. It's all completely purple, and when it flowers, it has these beautiful purple flowers that just add a whole nother depth and dynamic to the regular basil plant. Flowers. My first choice was marigolds, because they look really nice. They don't get too big, and they were a great success. And I've grown them every single cycle since I first tried them out, and they're really nice. And a really cool thing about them is that you can grow them in the OGarden for like 3 or 4 months, and they'll flower and flower and flower. And then if they start to lose their vigor a bit, you just take them out and repot them into just like a pot full of earth. And then they'll revitalize, and they'll bloom and they'll bloom and they'll bloom, and they'll get even bigger. And you can enjoy them in your house or in your garden for many more months to come. So that's just a little side tip, but a really cool thing you can do with plants in the OGarden. Now, with anything good, there's always going to be problems or bad things. And I've had the OGarden for 4 years now, and this wheel has been constantly turning for 4 years. Never once went off, which was really, really nice to see. There's been nothing that's meant that it's just broken or I've had to like replace anything. So one thing you might be able to see from over there is that on this side of the lamp, it has lost a few of the lights aren't on at the back. Now that just happened about 2 or 3 years after I got the OGarden. I could have ordered a replacement from OGarden, but I decided to just leave it and see if the plants would respond negatively, and they haven't. There's been nothing to indicate that the plants aren't getting enough light. So that's been a problem that has arisen that's just completely fine. Now, another problem I've faced is watering issues, which I go into in depth with a solution in my OGarden Smart maintenance video, which I'll link below. You just have to clean the little water nodes to make sure they don't get clogged up with any like bits and pieces that stop the sensors working. But that's just a maintenance thing, it's not a fault. Now, one big thing that did happen is the whole wheel just got massively hit by green fly, as well as these like white little pests. And the first time this happened, I sprayed everything with organic neem oil, as I don't like to use pesticides. And this did kill off all of the green fly, which was really nice to see. But then the second time this happened, I was a bit late to spraying the neem oil and it didn't really get rid of them. And essentially after a little while, all the plants just died. And the whole wheel just looked like a wasteland. Now, obviously this isn't going to occur in every household because not every household will have these pests. Everything was a bit hopeless, everything was dead and I was a bit stressed, wasn't I? Because I wanted some nice plants and they were all dead. But what I decided to do, I just took everything out, threw it all away, and then scrubbed all the pods to make sure there weren't any like green fly or green fly eggs left over. And then once everything was cleaned, I put it all back and I just started again. Just sowed a load more plants in the seedling tray, and then 30 days later moved them up, and then after a few months, the wheel was back to its glory like it is now. Now, a problem I've had quite recently is that the plants growing were starting to lose their vigour. They just weren't getting as green and bushy and fragrant and big as they were when I first got the OGarden. My theory is that after a few years or so, the nutrients inside the pods just maybe starts to degrade a little bit, and there's always a solution of just buying more fresh earth pods. I wanted to see if I could keep growing with these older earth pods and still get good results. So I decided to start adding some organic seaweed fertilizer, and this has stained the nice white pods this like brownish colour, which isn't that aesthetically good, but it hasn't damaged the OGarden in any way, which is good. But I know that most of the OGardens being sold now are black, so the staining issue might not be so big on those. Since adding the seaweed fertilizer, all the plants have now done really, really well, got really, really bushy, and have gone back to their original glory as they were when I first got the OGarden. So, if you'd like to learn more about specific parts of the OGarden, or you just want to watch some more OGarden videos to find out more, I've got quite a few cool ones in my channel that I'll link a few below, and you can just go find any other ones out for yourself. So I hope this video was helpful and you maybe found out something new about the OGarden, or you've just had a bit of clarity that you didn't know you needed about the longevity of the OGarden. But what I want to emphasize is even though I faced problems, I've had great successes and I've overcome all of these problems with pretty easy solutions, to be honest. And it has continued to be just an unparalleled machine that just does not have any real competition at the moment. And the plants they grow really nicely. It's such a cool object. Anytime friends or family come around, everyone's just like, whoa, look at that thing over there. That is so cool. But yeah, it's a really cool talking point. And I just love sharing it with you guys too. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you like the video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to join the channel. Hopefully going to be doing some more OGarden videos in the future, so stick around to watch those. And if you have any comments or questions about the OGarden or just anything to do with it, just leave those down below in the comment section and I'll get back to you and answer whatever questions you may have. So thank you for watching and goodbye.